Today, my topic is the impact of the pandemic on the web services industry in South Asia. I'm going to focus on MSMEs today because micro and small medium enterprises are the backbone of our economy, and they also deliver not just the most economic growth, but also the highest employment in many countries in South Asia. One of the things that we've noticed, according to this Facebook survey, over the past 6 to 9 months, is that majority of small businesses say that they've seen a decline in sales over the last 6 to 9 months during the pandemic. As many as 58% of small businesses in South Asia say that the sales have declined. Again, this is not surprising because many of us have been in lockdown mode. We've not visited our businesses locally and physically, and therefore these businesses have seen a decline in sales. There are many reasons why businesses have seen a decline in sales, not just because of drop in demand for products and services. Many of them don't even have operational cash flow to keep the business going. They don't have the ability to meet new customers and sell new business. Some of them have had to physically shut down their shops, and many of them have had to think about alternative products and services. And because of that, many businesses have not just shut shop during the pandemic, but they've had to shut shop longer term. In a market like India, we found that pre-COVID, we had 75 million MSMEs, micro and small medium enterprises. And during COVID, that number has gone down to 60 million because many of them have never come back to regaining the business they originally had. And it's not just about reopening their shops, it's also about the impact to employment. 78% of MSMEs have said that they've reduced their workforce in the last 8 months. And this has impacted all age groups, starting from 20 years to 60 years. And so it's really not spared any working class age group. Another study shows that the second most important challenge MSMEs face is adapting their business to the digital environment. Many of them are physical only and only use digital for personal things like phone calls and messaging. And so adapting their business to the digital environment has been a massive challenge for them. And for many of us who serve MSMEs and help them come online, this is very important to note. One of the surveys that Endurance also conducted, where we spoke to MSMEs and asked them the importance of a traditional presence versus a digital presence. And pre-COVID, many of them said that a traditional physical presence is a lot more important than digital presence. But post-COVID, many more are saying that a digital presence is more important than a traditional physical presence, and that digital presence is not just about a website and e-commerce and using social media, but it's about digitally transforming their business. And digital transformation means everything from improving operational efficiency using digital technology to transforming existing business processes, increasing cybersecurity protections, and then helping the employees be more productive online so that they can do a much better job at their workplace. As part of this, what Google shows us is that the digital solutions being considered and being bought by MSMEs range across the spectrum, from video conferencing to building websites to creating e-commerce platforms and solutions, digital marketing to attract new customers, online collaboration tools and suites for their own employees, as well as customer service and support software to allow them to serve their customers better. What Google also tells us is that the number of search queries related to an online presence or coming online has just massively increased in the last 6 to 9 months. So how-to queries on how to build a website, how to create a website, how to design a website have gone up 45%. Web hosting queries have also gone up 45%. And WordPress-related queries have gone up as much as 70% because WordPress is still the predominant CMS in the world. And what's very interesting is that these queries have not just gone up in metro cities, but much more in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where MSMEs have traditionally been physical and have not come online for their business needs. And we're starting to see a lot more of that now. Another endurance MSME survey that we did, and we asked MSMEs about contribution of e-commerce to the overall company revenue. And what we found is before COVID, when MSMEs did not have an e-commerce presence, they did not show a majority contribution of e-commerce to their company revenue. But post-COVID, what we found is those MSMEs that came online, created a website and an e-commerce shopping experience have shown a greater amount of contribution of e-commerce revenue as part of the overall company revenue. Particularly in education services and retail, we've seen a massive increase in e-commerce revenue compared to the traditional streams of revenue. So for all of us that serve MSMEs, and many of you in the audience listening are web professionals whose primary business is to create an online presence for MSMEs, I would just say that the opportunity is massive, it's growing. There's been a shift where MSMEs want to come online and want a digital presence. So it's really up to us to reach out to them, educate them, and bring them online. So I'd just like to end today by thanking all of you for joining Cloudbazaar. And I look forward to welcoming you for the rest of the day. Please stay tuned. We have a fabulous day ahead of us, a lot more great speaker sessions and other workshops that you can participate in. And I'll open up for Q&A now.
All right, so we've got one question that has come in. And it basically says that now that there's an end in sight to the pandemic with a vaccine, what do you think will be the longer term adoption of digital amongst MSMEs in India? And I think the way we think about this is, yes, I mean, there is some progress towards the vaccine, but if you look at consumers and consumer behavior, they've really started appreciating the convenience of the internet. And so because of that, we'll continue to see small businesses want to interact with their customers who are primarily online. The other thing that we believe will happen is businesses themselves have seen the positive impacts of coming online, of digital transformation, as I said, whether it's in growing their business outside the hyperlocal area, or whether it's in making the employees more productive through digital technologies. So because of that, we think that MSMEs will continue to adopt these digital technologies over the next several years. So we don't see anything changing in terms of the new wave of digitization, if you may, amongst MSMEs, particularly in markets like India.